Hey everyone, Amber here with Yoga How To, and thank you so much for being with me this week. This week we are going to be talking about how in the world do you build a regular meditation practice when you have a distracted mind. This can be if you are someone with ADHD, if you are dealing with perimenopause or menopause and some of the distractibility that comes with that, or if you're just a regular human in this world who's propensity for distractibility has been really revved up by social media, then this is for you. Like many of you, I'm certain that the world we live in, with all of the fast little dopamine hits we get from whatever we're doing, whether it's
shopping online or researching something online or looking at social media.
I know my attention has been altered by this. I do have an ADHD diagnosis, and I am dealing with all the fun and joy that is perimenopause. So those things I keep kind of over here just to keep me informed. They're not the main lens I look at myself with or through the world with, but they do help me to make decisions about how I need to approach things in life. I never thought I would have any kind of consistent practice with anything in my life, especially meditation, because it is so wildly challenging for me. And I'm here to tell you, you can do it. I'm going to get teary-eyed about it because it's so hard for so many people. And I'm just telling you, if I can do it, if I can build a consistent practice, which I have, and also reap some of the rewards of that practice, which I have, if I can do it, I promise you that you can too. So I'm here to share with you some of the things that help me, and also some of the things that have helped people that I've worked with individually who deal with a vikishta, mind. In yoga, that's a distracted mind, and some of the things that have helped them. Because if you're anything like me, you can't sit through a long video, and or too many options, too many ideas will just leave you feeling overwhelmed. We'll do this a little at a time. So this will be a series, and we'll just go over a couple of things this week. And then there will be more in 2 weeks. So you can start to put it into place if you so desire. The first thing to do is set aside your notions of what meditation means, what it entails, as well as how long a practice needs to be. So in the Yoga Sutras, we know that a practice, an abhyasa, is firmly established, meaning it's really become even more than just a habit. It's holding up the mind, and it's holding the mind steady. We know that this has happened when it's been done consistently over a long period of time and with enthusiasm or devotion, zeal, these sorts of things. So this is what we want to look at, is how can we build consistency? In my early days of meditating, I really thought, because of some of the early teachers I had, and bless their hearts, they didn't know quite who they were dealing with here, but I really thought if I didn't sit for at least 20 minutes, it was worthless. And that if I didn't do the same thing every day, it was worthless. Now, there comes a point where we need to increase our time and where consistency in method is going to really matter. But early on, all we want to do is develop concentration, concentration, concentration. That's all we're doing in our meditation practice. So early on, in my own practice, I would be really consistent for maybe a week or maybe 3 months. And I do 20 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day. And then I would just fall off and not pick it up again for months. I could not sustain the enthusiasm, probably the dopamine, that it took to get myself to sit for that long every day, day after day after day after day. Know yourself. What is the most you can do consistently while maintaining enthusiasm? And that can be 3 minutes a day. That's what it was for me. I started at 10, and then that even got too hard. So I kept backing down until I found, okay, 3 minutes is the number. It was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it was 3 minutes. That seemed so embarrassing. But over time, that worked for me, and I built it up to a consistent practice. And now I meditate regularly usually about an hour a day, some days a little more, some days a little less, but it's consistent, it's there. It's taken years for me to get to this point. Also, don't measure yourself against others, but I'm here to tell you that it started as this 3-minute practice that for me, it took everything to get myself to do that. But I did it every single day, come hell or high water, and it became a practice. My suggestion then to you, if you are like this, if you recognize yourself in any of this, is to set maybe a little less than what you think you can do. Make that your consistent practice that you fulfill, that you keep. And by the way, the more you have the integrity to keep up with something that you can actually do, the more that enthusiasm builds. You don't feel like you're letting yourself down because you can do 3 minutes. By the way, sometimes that 3 minutes turns into more, but don't tell yourself that, because if you tell yourself that, you may not do it. Get an app that will help you. I used Insight Timer. Now, the thing about it is you start to build up these stars and you're like, oh, yay. And these streaks, and you get to, say you're at 154 days, but then you lose your streak. Like that can be a point where you don't pick up again, because it becomes more about about getting those stars than about the practice. So just use it wisely and just kind of hold loosely to those little stars and those streaks that you build up, because it's still better to, if you fall off for one day, to get back to it the next day than to be like, well, screw it, I'm never doing it again. That's perfectionism. When we say, if it's not here, if it's not at this level, and if I don't do it exactly like that, screw it, I'm never doing it again. You cannot be perfect in this. Or let me say it this way, if you expect perfection of yourself, you will never succeed in a lifelong habit of meditation. So set aside perfectionism, set aside your idea of how it needs to look, pick a practice for the next week or two where you can do it daily. It can be a guided meditation. There's lots of free ones out there. It can be one you've read about, whatever it is, where you're bringing your mind back to some kind of focus again, 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 for 3 minutes, for 5 minutes a day, whatever works for you. I hope this is a good first step for you. I will be back next time with more, because there are a lot of tips I have on this subject, because it's been such a struggle in my life. All right. Thanks, everyone.